Welcome back to All Hitches, Nova's number one football podcast, and maybe the busiest podcast.
Yeah, we weren't planning on going live today, but I think that everybody really wants to hear us talk about the premiere of the theatrical version of Wicked. I think
Something like that. Something like
yeah.
that. We got pumpkin pie being cut. We're smoking the turkey to do the big giveaway tomorrow at tomorrow's game that we were planning on going to.
I went and bought our prime rib today. Went to the store and bought the prime rib, and
we weren't going to give slices of prime rib away at the game, but we were thinking about the smoked turkey leg.
We were thinking about the smoked turkey leg,
but MVP award.
But now either we're gonna have to go to another game or yes, emergency pod. Thomas Gill is on with us. The Langley tight end.
The big tight end.
Big tight end. It is emergency pod, and so I guess we should. So everyone knows what. Again, we were not planning on. We talked about it for a minute about going live today. And we were like, well,
George, I appreciate that. George giving me credit. I appreciate that, George.
What is that? George Murad on there?
Yeah, George Murad said we called it.
Did we?
Yeah, we called it. Sure we did. We called it. I always take credit when someone gives me credit for something.
So yeah, we were not planning on going live. We were like, let's see how this all plays out. I think we both assumed that something may be coming down the line. And actually, to be fair, we both had a conversation, and I was like, I don't know, man. I think we may not have a game tomorrow.
Yeah, that's one of the first things you said. And yeah. So George, I'll give Mason the credit. I won't take it. But one of the things Mason first said to me when he heard this was, "Yeah, I have a feeling." He said, "There's a chance that
you have the stitch.
Hayfield doesn't play." The first thing when he saw the text, the first thing Mason said, and I mean Mason, I guess I thought with the hearing on the December 4th coming up.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I interrupting your dinner plans there, Mason?
No. I'm getting myself situated. I was not situated.
I was eating dinner. I get you.
So was I.
It was like the Ghostbusters when they got that call. Remember, they were eating their dinner, and they said that this dinner represents the last of the petty cash. Then they got the call, and they had to go to the hotel
to get Slimer.
That's right. But no, so Mason looks at me, and Mason says, there's a chance that they don't play. And I said, well, there's a hearing on December 4th. And I said, I think they'll play on, and whatever happens to the hearing will be the final verdict. But I guess by reading the press release, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Mason, the principal decided to go ahead and make the call on this.
Yeah, so the principal decided to call that. So I think maybe we should back up. Last night, probably about 8. I want to say I think I was getting ready for bed. It might have been like 9:30. There was a series of text messages that came out that were rather damning. I think we can both agree. That came from Hayfield that were rather damning. Came out late, and everyone had been asking for, and you and I both said, "Hey, if they did something wrong, where's your proof?" I think we'd said that multiple times. We didn't want to hear, spare the rule. We didn't want to hear, this looks like that. That's like that. We wanted to see some proof, and I think now we saw some. We saw some things that
you go ahead. You go ahead. I got my own take on that, but you go ahead.
You saw some things that were damning.
You and I don't see exactly eye to eye on this.
No, we don't. But I do think the thing that came out was a little more alluded to some wrongdoings. Again, nothing was said concrete, but I think they're. Go ahead. Why don't you tell me what you thought of the email?
Well, everything's factual. You're saying in terms of like the late night. And that was not the best. I mean, look, would you want your name to be on those texts? No, of course not. I don't think anybody would. So no, it wasn't like it was a good look. It was not a good look.
No.
An awful look. No doubt about it. All I was saying, where I think you and I just disagree on, some of that can be explained away. Now, could it be explained away truthfully or not truthfully? I don't know. I'm just saying a lot of that can be explained. It could be we were joking. It could be that was said in January. Whatever was said never happened. It never came,
Right.
for it. A lot of this could be explained away, and at a later time when people actually get it kind of explain that in front of some kind of a arbitrator or judge, that could have maybe been explained or ruled upon.
Yeah.
Crazy. Look, I'm not debating that part of it. I'm just saying it could have been defended. Now,
Yeah.
whoever hears a defense could be like, that defense sucks, right? I
Yeah.
think that's whatever, and that's fine. I could go with that. I'm just saying it can be defended if someone was able to explain what they meant by it and all that. That's all I was saying. That it didn't necessarily mean guilt, 100% guilt. It didn't have to mean that. That's all I mean.
Right. No, yeah, no, I got you.
And with the hearing on December 4th, I just thought that it would play out until then, and then at that point, whoever would look at stuff and then they'd say yay, nay, or whatever.
Yeah, but so some of the things that were alluded to in there were, and I think what we should do is, I don't know if you, I know I know Dash is the guy who does the editing. I think maybe you should put on where I talk about how there have been schools that have taken advantage of the homeless rule.
We talked about this. I'll give you. I said this today, Mason. Right?
Yeah.
I said I'm gonna, and I will go back and put it. There's a bunch of. If you guys have a chance, and we have an audience now of 200, almost 200 now. If you have a chance, go back to some of our early shows. This is why I was talking to I wanted to talk to the junkies, and they had the activist on there, but I wanted to talk to people and say we were talking about this stuff in August and July, and we were talking about teams in general, because there was all those rumors that time, and we talked about the homeless rule. We talked about that. Not Hayfield in particular, but just in general, the teams that abuse it.
So I learned about when I was in California. So I'm not even talking about anybody that I knew here, where essentially if you're a child in crisis and you're homeless, you can go to any school and say, hey, I'm homeless. I don't have residence at this time. And by federal law, you have to enroll them because you have children out there who are in crisis. And in reality, what you're really trying to do is, one, try to normalize their life and also get them some meals, because you'll be able to get free lunches through that. So anyway, we see those emails today, and then you and I were like, Dash was like, okay, so I think they're going to play in November 4th, and I was like, yeah, I can see that, but I can also see it going another way. And then tonight, about an hour ago, maybe less than that, we get the notification that the principal at Hayfield has decided to pull their team from the playoffs. That they have been pulled out of the playoffs. And so, I mean, there's a lot of speculation, right? And once again, there's going to be a lot of speculation. Something in the chat says they think that the superintendent forced it. Nobody knows.
What they're saying though, what they're saying is the messages questioning the integrity. So it does go back to the integrity of the rules. But these text messages are almost like definitive for the principal to decide that. And he says that questions the it's almost like that is the evidence whoever needed to justify the original integrity of the rules.
Yeah. So according to the thing, now the way the article made it sound like that superintendent had these messages for a while. According to the email we got tonight, it sounds like she got them at the coaches meeting is when she got them. And then like any large organization, you're going to give it to your counsel, because you don't want to make a move, because at this point, they're being litigious. You don't want to make a move on something and then leave yourself open for lawsuits, which the school district has to deal with constantly as far as being sued. And the school board folk made a statement today. Yeah, right. So a lot of people, I think that what happens right now is a lot of people are trying or making statements before they let this all play out. I think that statements got made today. I don't know. I mean, but again today, and so now we're left with football wise. What does this mean for the playoffs? It's Fairfax just get the ball.
Yeah, that's the real question here. That's the real question. What the hell is going on with the playoffs? We've heard a lot of different stuff. At first, and my wife heard it. She's like, Robinson? I'm like, well, no. I mean, love Robinson, love everyone there. but that's ridiculous because Edison lost. They'd be the first one that would talk anyway, so it wouldn't be Robinson. No, we've heard two rumors, right? We've heard two rumors with the playoffs. One, West Springfield and Braddock still play. Fairfax gets a bye essentially. The other rumor we heard was since Braddock would be the default number one, now we change opponents. West Springfield plays Fairfax tomorrow night.
Yeah, which is wild, right? I mean, there's no game planning, right? Now you're just going in there completely blind. Now, maybe not completely blind. They
played each other a few weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
Sports Highlights says all this will do is that every transfer should be scrutinized. I think you and I have been very clear on our stance on this. Is that moving forward, there should be real accountability and some real change for that.
Yes.
We
are on record, and one thing we said when this was all done, I was of the opinion of midstream, let it play out, let things play out, and then in the off season, if they want to tighten up rules, they can bring some of your California rules in that you've already brought up, that kind of thing. That we've been saying that since July.
Yeah. What happens in the Hubert and there's no evidence of any rules being broken?
Fairfax is being told they're playing Saturday, and George is a father of a Fairfax player.
Yeah.
So George, we're gonna go with what you're saying right now, buddy. So that means Fairfax has essentially a second round bye. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I'm not too happy if I'm the one seed, from the de facto one seed, right?
Yeah. Someone else asked if there's no evidence of rules being broken. I think though at this point, and again, Dash and I disagree on this, is that the text message makes it sound like their intent to break rules. Like in January, there was some intent to break rules, or at least that was being thrown out there. And it's just a terrible look. It's a terrible look to mention using the homeless rule, right? Baron, I mean, 8th grade. Yeah, there are some hard and fast rules that need to be put in place. That need to be followed. That's my hope. We'll see what happens. But again, just kind of going over there. So do you have anything to say if they have an investigation? There's no evidence of rules being broken. Do you have anything?
So me?
Yeah.
I was reading. Sent to me was the email that the Fairfax admin had sent I'm sorry, not Fairfax. The Hayfield admin had sent to Hayfield parents. I'm just, as you were talking, I was just reading over that.
Okay.
Nothing in there that we already don't know. If he had to give a reason to the parents, specifically, again, it's generic. It was to uphold, and like we said, integrity being the key word there. It was to uphold the integrity of the athletic program.
Yeah.
So that was just, kind of a general thing there. But to your point, you were talking about. Sorry, what were you saying again?
So someone asked, someone asked in there if they have an investigation and there was no rules being broken. I mean,
that's the thing. It's such a complicated issue,
right?
Because the county rules are the county rules.
Yeah.
Now, someone could say the county rules are too loose. They need to tighten up. We can go with that.
Yeah.
But if the county rules are loose and that's just what they are right now, and people abided by them, at Hayfield and every other school that's done something,
right.
It is what it is. That people abided by the county policies, county rules, and that was that. Now the county's going to go back and tighten. They say they're going to tighten things up and do a review. That would be great. What worries me about all this is that they're going to go over it. They're going to look at stuff. They're going to kind of, Hayfield's going to get, they get removed from the playoffs here. And then we kind of go back to status quo.
Right. That's it.
I'm worried about that. This is a chance for the county to make some significant change.
Yeah.
And don't just, have the principal remove them and then go back to doing things the way they were doing. Because this is bigger than text from the Hayfield admin. From the DSA or anything else. This whole situation was going on. This kind of stuff was going on long before Hayfield, long before those texts.
Yeah.
And that's why I find it, there was a letter that came out from one of the school board members today, and it mentioned the Robinson boosters say, the South County boosters say this, and we're going to. Do some of those boosters know that their schools have let in transfers that were questionable in their history?
Right.
I don't know if they know that.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought, but the other thing, actually, more than Fairfax, and I talked a little bit. We were talking today. You and I work together, and we were talking together. And I'll go back to where I'm from, out of state. This is the only place I've ever been at where the county or the school district decides their own rules in regards to athletics and transfers and all those things. Every other place I've ever been to, every other place I've been to 2, so I mean I've been everywhere, but I've been to two other states. The governing organization is the one who sets the rules. There is no, okay, well, you guys can do this and you guys can do that, and this is how this all works. There needs to be a steadfast set of rules that VHSL needs to hold everybody accountable for. Because if not, the complaint's going to be as well, in Prince William, they get to do whatever they want over there, and in the beach, they get to do whatever they want there. So it makes it unfair for us if we end up having these really stringent rules. So I really do think, again, our hope is that a lot of really smart people get together and say, hey, let's fix this and try to make high school athletics what high school athletics is. And we can go into the people talk about, it's unfair that, kids are just trying to get the best opportunity they can for themselves. And, we could bleed into, the cost of college and, kids trying, because it's gotten so expensive, parents are freaking out. So they're trying to get their kids athletic scholarships. I mean, there's lots of things that we can talk about here. And there are a lot of valid points. There's a lot of valid points of parents trying to do the best they can for their kids. And I totally get that. But this is not what high school athletics is supposed to be. High school athletics is supposed to be, you live in a place, you go to that school, you play for them. And that's just what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you're right. I'm still getting texts. People are saying that maybe Lake Braddock does not play tomorrow. So it's up in flux right now still. Like what's happening tomorrow, which is crazy because I'm smoking a turkey leg to give away to the MVP. I want to, you smoke a turkey leg, you give it to the MVP. I remember Jerry Ball. Eating that big turkey leg to the MVP, and like I said, getting to that part of it, you can't really push it back.
Well, you could do this.
Saturday?
Hold on. You could do this. Actually, no, they've got to play. They've got to play on. So you could play. So if they wanted to make Fairfax and West Springfield play, they play on Saturday, and then you play the region championship on Tuesday, and then whoever wins that goes to the state final.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get back to a normal schedule. This is nothing normal about this, I guess. So yeah, I think everything flies out the window. I think ideally they were trying to get back on schedule for the Saturday games, but this kind of throws a major wrench.
Yeah. Once again, and unfortunately, you get the unintended consequences of just kids being left in flux, right?
Right. Right.
And coaches too, but there are kids who are like, what is going on? I don't understand what's going on.
Right. Yeah. It's the whole thing. And that's why you have one chance, not one chance at this, but you kind of do. You have one chance to make major reform.
Yeah.
If you're the county, and take advantage of this and really do something real and don't just make this these guys did this and that's it. This is I can't reiterate that enough. Is that we talked about this. I'm gonna make that clip, that montage of you talking about this in the summertime, and we weren't even talking about Hayfield at the time.
Right.
We were talking about all these other schools that abuse all these rules.
Right.
And so the county has a chance to make some significant change. They better do it. And just don't just slap one team on the wrist and say, these guys bad. These guys bad.
This is, and we are not accusing anybody of doing anything, but saying that one team in the history of this area has been the only one to recruit is ludicrous. It's ludicrous.
Insane.
Ask
around. Ask the baseball coaches. Ask the basketball coaches. It's happening in every sport in Fairfax County.
Yeah,
it's happening everywhere.
We have something Wicked says. Plain States have dealt with this at a higher stakes, and so I think I brought up, and I made some upset about it when I brought up how California tried to really tighten the screws on getting this thing to calm down. Now it still happens. For example, there is a school in the city I grew up in Long Beach, Wilson High School. They had 12 transfers come in this year. Now they made them sit out for 6 games, but then they got to play. So it still happens. It still happens. People are gonna, a lot of times I hear people when you talk about it will tell you, oh well, what about this? What about that? If we play the whataboutism, we're not going to fix anything. We at the very least have got to try to at least tighten up the rules some. Because if we don't try to do that, then what are we doing? That at this point, I'm willing to say then you are just persecuting one set of kids, one team, one set of coaches.
Right.
If you don't change anything, you're just persecuting them and then being like, okay, we got those guys, we're moving on.
Right. And I mean, again, it's such a weird thing because it's very cliquey and people start talking about, a lot of clubs, a lot of that kind of stuff. Look, the reality is a lot of people have done, similar things. A lot of schools have taken in transfers. Look, and some coaches didn't know. I'm not saying all the time the coaches were like, in on this big diabolical thing, but the school took in transfers. Schools took in transfers.
Right.
And because all the county required was basic, not a driver's license change,
right?
Not a utility bill,
right?
Right. We talk about this. You want to really, if anyone in the county is listening, I mean, we're going to spend a whole show doing this when the season's over. But 2 things right now, off the top, easy: driver's license address and utility bill to that new address in that district. You do those 2 things alone, you're gonna get rid of a lot of people that are trying to pull some shenanigans. And anyone who says I'm not getting utility bill, that's crazy. That they're not really moving. Anyone who says I'm not changing my driver's license, well, that was not a real move. It was a temporary move. So those are just basic things that you can do easy.
Well,
easy.
And you can get around enrollment right now. So I found this out. So I live in the West Springfield district, but I teach at Woodson, so my daughter goes to Woodson. So I had to put in something on there. I had to, I can people replace her, but there's a form in there that you can just sign that says I live in somebody else's house. I don't pay any bills. And then kind of sign that, and then you can still get in. You can still get in school by claiming, because you have families out there. You have multifamily dwellings with a family who lives there, who they register the kid, and they're like, well, I don't have a lease in my name because I live with my brother-in-law. It's my brother-in-law's house. We live in the basement. Since my brother-in-law's house, he has all the utility bills, and then depending on how stringent they want to be, they can say yay or nay and move in there. So I mean, yeah, just I don't know. Right. I know. I think
it doesn't take. There are smarter people than us that could do this kind of stuff. Okay, like you said, there might be a situation where you're not the one. Like you said, you're renting the basement or whatever, and the water bill might not be in your utility bill might not be in your name. If there's some kind of an appeal process, you go to the school.
Yeah.
You make your case. The school decides on it. Right. I mean, there's ways to do things, but just asking for a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Right. And you pick a bill, pick an easy bill, cell phone bill, whatever.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, everyone knows anyone can get around that.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this: the percentage of varsity starters who are homeless or are living out of someone's basement is a really small number. The actual really kids will have that. And the thing I worry about this is I don't want to make things hard on kids who have already got really tough lives.
Right.
That being said, the percentage of kids, because most kids who are in those situations are not playing sports. They should, absolutely should. I want them to play sports. I want them to hang around and be part of a team. That'd be great. But most of them are just trying to survive at that point. So I don't think that number is really big. So I think something should be looked into if you see a kid who was a starter on their varsity team in school A, and then all of a sudden shows up at school B and like, oh yeah, I'm homeless, and also I was the best player on my team at school A. Wait.
It's a coincidence, just a coincidence.
And also that can be verified by school A. I think there should be a process where you can go, okay, well, that's true. Let me contact your counselor over there, because there's going to be a paper trail of that, of them being like, yeah, this family has a really tough time, and then get those kids through. Because I don't want kids being persecuted who are going through that, because kids who are going through those kind of situations have a really tough life. But unfortunately, you've had coaches, and this is a nationwide problem. You've had coaches who have taken advantage of this rule too many times. And it sucks. It sucks that you have people out there who would choose to take advantage of this rule when this rule is set up for kids who are in crisis.
Yeah, I mean, I hope. I'll say this: there are some activists out there who are really, gunning hard, and if they take some of the things they've been doing and apply it towards, now that they were able to, the hayfield hunt for them might be over, they can take that and try and push for change instead of going after one person.
Right.
Maybe instead of going after one person or two people, three people, they can now, just try and go for change in general.
Yeah.
Without actually trying to just, hunt one person down, because that's, if you're really trying to solve a problem, that's what you want. Unless all you want is chaos, which some people do want chaos. There are people
absolutely
who want chaos.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, anyone in particular in this case, but that there have been, some activists out there that are pushing hard, and I made that joke the other day. They were trying to blame Coach Overton for starting the Chicago Fire. Well, they got what they wanted. They're out of the playoffs, and now let's make change. Let's do something.
Yeah.
Instead of them celebrating about one team being gone and a bunch of kids being out of the playoffs, let's actually do something and push the county to make real change, not just a little bit of change.
Right. There's our opportunity to do that. And unfortunately, I think there were some of the activists who have gone out there who don't realize they've hurt a lot of kids out. I mean, there are some kids, unintended consequences that you've heard along the way.
Right.
And I think sometimes, especially you and I have been, I've been in education now. I've been teaching, what year is this? 25, 3 years, 17 years. And I think sometimes when you don't work with kids like that, you don't really realize the effect you do on kids when you start to come down on it. Like there are going to be some kids that are going to get hurt along the way that you are unconcerned with it, on both sides. So.
Right. I mean, what you don't want is this, the takeaway of this ends up being, like you said, okay, Hayfield kids, Hayfield coaches, Hayfield admin. Now coaches have to take 1 million classes before the season starts, right?
Yes.
That's what's going to happen. Coaches got to take 1,000 different computer classes that people are just going to click on, not even do them. And then nothing else is done.
Right. Right.
That would be the worst case scenario. But how governmenty is that? That's all that happens.
Yeah.
How governmenty is that?
Yeah, they're gonna set up you worry that they're gonna set up a committee. They're gonna talk about some things.
Right.
They're gonna come up with like 2 rules, and then move on, and then things are just gonna be status quo. So.
Right. 2 rules that, like you said, new rules that maybe hurt a kid, who actually makes the process harder for a kid who might have been, in a situation where they needed a home.
Yeah.
Right. But then everything else still the same. Right.
Yeah.
Like, because remember, one of the big issues here with all this is if you have money, and I was saying this today to you at work.
Yeah.
Really easy for those who have money.
Yes.
Right. Those who have tons of money to throw away. I'm going to name some of the nicer districts in our area. I'm not implying anything. I'm just naming richer districts. You live in the Madison area. You live in, certain areas, South County, Oakton, McLean, Langley. I'm naming the rich areas. You have money in this area. Actually, there's money in every district. It doesn't matter. So you have money. Yeah. You can go get that apartment.
That's an apartment.
Money, right? And people know what I'm talking about here, because this happens all the time. You have money. That family can go rent that apartment. Oh, they're not going to be dumb. They're fiscally smart. They're going to go find a lower income apartment in that school district, right? And I've seen it. I have seen it. We've all seen it firsthand. Yeah. I know teams. I know coaches. I know players. I'm not going to say it. That's not what I'm here to do. Right. But they're going to rent out that apartment. Kid's going to live there. It's usually a 17 or 18-year-old. The parents will come every once in a while to hang out. He's usually going back to his house. But they have an address. They could provide the address. They could provide the water bill. They'll
Right.
do all that stuff. So even if we do the change,
Yeah.
the people who want to do it, who have money, they're not going to have a problem.
Right. I think though that's the one where you have to show you shut off the water bill in your name at the other place. I think that's
like that one.
Yeah, that's a big one. But you're right. Unfortunately, this is going to penalize kids who don't have the means to be able to do the kind of things, other things. Which
people with money will still be able to do it. People without the money are not going to do it.
Langley is not catching strays. We were just saying that
his name in the richest areas.
The richest areas.
Hey, I wish I lived in the Langley district. All right, what are we talking about here? I meant that with all due respect, sir.
Yeah.
No, I meant that as far as I was naming the wealthiest districts, but like I also corrected myself and said there's wealthy people in every district here in Northern Virginia, so it doesn't matter what district. People with money in any district are going to be able to move their kid to any other district,
right?
Because they're going to find an apartment or something to put their kid in, and we've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah. So at this point, Hayfield is out. Sounds like officially. And what's going to happen? So, is it confirmed? Is Fairfax just going to play on Saturday? This is confirmed.
I mean, going by Mr. Murad, George, he says that and I'm not George. I don't know if you're still there, but was that something that you guys were told that that's something that you're hearing, like we were hearing, or because we had a couple of Lake Braddock people write us, and they still didn't know, so I wasn't sure exactly who knows what. You think they'd have it kind of? I mean, if you're going to do something this big, you think they'd have it boom, 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 boom. Right.
Well, and I don't think this is Fairfax's. I don't think this is FCPS call. This is a VHSL call. This is their tournament.
Yeah, I guess now it is. But they've been. I mean, yeah, they had to have had the heads up on that.
So someone said Hayfield is a very small, narrow area to pull from as opposed to South County and Lake Braddock. I mean, if you want to argue a size of districts now, my understanding is when districts set their boundaries, they take into account population and how many people it is. I mean, I can't. I don't know. I've never looked at a district map. A lot of times,
what's the debate there?
Someone says Hayfield has a very small, narrow area to pull from as opposed to South County, Lake Braddock. It says Edison's across the street and Lewis is a stone throws away. Now, I will say this: Robinson and Lake Braddock and Woodson and Fairfax, you could run to all four of those schools in under a few hours. I mean, you could make it to all four schools. It's not, those schools are also right on top.
I don't know what's the argument there that they're trying to make. I don't understand
they
need to be able to get guys in because they have a smaller pool.
Hayfield has less of a population to pull from than those other schools. I mean, if that's the argument that you're talking about redistricting, and I know there are things that go into it. So
yeah, they're also a national district. So I mean, right? I mean, they win national district like every year, and those schools are all smaller population.
Yeah. So
you could argue that out of that district, they might have the one of the higher football populations out of that district. Them, Edison, and maybe Mount Vernon.
Yeah. Let's see.
Top of my head.
I got another one. West Potomac gets screwed the most, gets home game taken away, then goes on the road and loses. If they get the so-called bye, adults screw this up for too many people in the region. Not to get this redone. I know logistics don't support it right now. Again, won't happen. Yeah. I mean, there's just there's this is unprecedented. I mean, honestly, has anyone ever heard of a playoff be this crazy before? I mean, I've seen it where teams like a bunch of kids get pulled out.
Yeah, absolutely not. Nothing this crazy. This is insane. This is insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that I don't know if you saw, but I pulled out the old SoCo was built because Hayfield got too crowded. Well, there you go.
Oh, someone said Hayfield's AD just resigned.
AD just resigned. I mean, is that true? Or is that just someone just saying that?
I don't know.
I mean, you can make a statement like that and everyone will believe it because
I mean, at this point, is there anything you would be like that? That's not true.
Yeah, no. Someone could say. They could say a lot of people resigned, and I'd believe it. Right? This point? I mean, this one, you could tell me anything. I can tell you that I'm resigning after this episode. You can believe it. This is it. This has been fun, gentlemen. I'm out of here.
Oh, he didn't resign. Someone said he didn't resign.
No, I mean, no.
Now I'm someone. Well, all right.
People. That's what I'm saying. People can say anything right now.
Well, I mean, just like the playoff, right? Is Braddock getting a bye? Is Fairfax getting a bye?
Right. People can say anything.
Are we all getting buys?
Right.
I think we all should get a bye for tomorrow and not have to go into work.
I've been arguing this. We should be off. We should be off the day before the break. You think Fairfax has an advantage against whoever they play in the games?
I think we have all been through so much of this Hayfield saga that we all deserve a day off tomorrow. I think whoever the guy is called snow days, he needs to get on and call
Robert. He did not. Yeah. I read that. But Robert says, do you think Fairfax has an advantage if they have extra? Well, yeah. Robert, I don't know. Is that decided yet? Yeah. If a team has a bye week or a bye game, then yes. But that would be an advantage, yes. If that's the case, that'd be huge. I mean, to be the lower seed, right?
Yeah.
And still have the Mr. Doug, my best friend Doug. Doug needs a dash and dance. You're right. This is when you guilty eating, stress eating, right? Give me a dash and Dan. Give me a smoked turkey leg. I just wanted a Gold Rush chicken tomorrow. I was going to talk to
that's right.
the guy that owns the Roy Rogers over there in Hayfield.
Right.
And we were going to put on a show. And I don't know if we'll see. I'll tell you what, if there's a game at Braddock tomorrow, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to write Coach Doc, and I'll see if we'll put a table up in the corner of the Braddock end zone and see if we can do now there's no Roy Rogers near Braddock though, unfortunately. No Roy Rogers there. There's a McDonald's, but that ain't the same.
According to the Fairfax Times, the athletic director is out.
He has resigned, they said.
That's what the Fairfax Times is saying.
I am not a huge shot. Here's the surprise of the week award. I am not a huge fan of some of the stuff the Fairfax Times has done and put out.
Yeah.
I'll say this though, in terms of accuracy, unfortunately,
they've been pretty on it.
They've nailed some of that kind of stuff. Not their opinion, but that kind of stuff they've been right about.
Well, they're real journalists. You and I are high school teachers who do a podcast. So,
however, I'm going to argue with you that we are 1,000 times more objective than they are.
Yeah, I mean, someone said that.
I mean, as you type in your article for the Fairfax Times and you write, he sucks, he needs to be fired. And that means she's not. They're not objective, right? I mean, because essentially I've interpreted some of the stuff they've said as that. It's like you can't intermix that in your writings.
We do have a Hayfield. I think is it the player in here? Kamark. I'm not sure if that's a player or if that's a parent. But we were big fans of you. If it's you, we were big fans of you all year. I'm sorry. I know you were a Hayfield kid, or if this is a parent, I know that your son was a Hayfield kid the whole time through. And so again, there are people catching strays off this that it's awful. And I feel
I'm not a Fairfax. I'm not buying a subscription anytime soon. The Fairfax,
like Texas. Hold on. We got something wicked. Like Texas, you'll find population in a district less important that the ability to build rooftops in the district becomes competitive advantage compared to already saturated areas where, I agree. Yeah, I mean, although interesting about Texas, a lot of places in Texas for a long time. My mom is a native Texan. As a matter of fact, my mom's family founded Texas, but Stephen F. Austin came from Tennessee. That means nice history lesson for you.
You own a cowboy hat. How Texas are you, buddy?
I mean, like I said, my mom's family was there since the Republic. Anyway, there was a time in Texas they would not build new high schools. They would just make the high school as big as possible oddly enough, in order to make sure that their football team remained as dominant as possible.
It's smart.
Yeah.
Right. But these schools were built so freaking long ago.
Yeah.
Right. But it's smart if you're building. That's why people move. I mean, look, you know me, I'm an old time Nova guy.
Yeah.
That's why, we were nice and new once upon a time, buddy. Now everything in Loudon is new and everything in Fairfax is a little bit older and, not as, I mean, you remember we visited some of those schools over in Loudon. Gee, you walk in, it's like, I feel like you're in the Jetsons, right? It's like the future walking some of those schools out there, Do
we have 6 people watching right now? We're at 691 right now. So
700 people, and we appreciate it.
We appreciate
it. Dan's middle name is Tex. We're gonna start calling him Tex. Freaking Tex Ritter over here.
Oh,
What a again sad night again. Just because and the Mr. or Miss Camark are in here, like you said, true Hayfield family. It's sad to see it that so many kids are impacted.
okay, Coach, I got you. Coach Laguna says he's gonna DM us something. Yeah, him and Ian Hall, him and Ian Hall. Yeah, those two kids are Hayfield kids. 4 years, and that they worked hard for that. And there are kids from that community who didn't ask for any of this. They didn't ask for any of this.
Right.
They just wanted to play. They wanted to play for Hayfield. They weren't transfers. They've been there. They probably went to the secondary school, and there were kids.
But Mesa, even people who let's play the devil's advocate here, or just the other side of it. Even people who went, anyone who was at Freedom Woodbridge,
yeah,
and came to Hayfield, they did what they did, right? They filled out the form. They walked in.
Some moved.
They walked in with that lease.
Yeah,
they did it. They did whatever was asked. They did it, right? And then the county stamps it and says the registrar's office, whatever. I mean, if they were just told no, then they'd go back.
Yeah, right.
But they weren't told no.
Right.
So the whole thing sucks. The whole situation sucks. It's just so unfortunate for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right. Their parents who thought they were doing the right thing. They thought they were clear to go, and now
right.
This ends up happening.
Right. So unfortunate. All right, so we're getting there's talk that where they get the bye. They play Saturday. There's been discussion of if there was reference in the tournament, but would open a key. Wow. All right.
So
wow.
So I do
read that whopper there, buddy. That's a whopper.
Wait, I didn't read it. I didn't. No, I was just while you were talking, I was going to say there's a lot of Texas talk going on, and they're right. Texas facilities are amazing. So oddly enough, I taught out in Rio Rancho, which is outside of Albuquerque, and they take more of the Texas model. And you're right, the facilities you get in Texas are top notch. Football only locker rooms, football only meeting rooms, offices. Every coach gets an office over the facility. Yeah, so you're right. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm talking Texas football. So
Texas football. Well, right now I wish I was anywhere but here. Okay, Texas sounds great. All right. So Lake Braddock, nothing set in stone yet. That's the most important takeaway. What I'm about to tell you before I freak anybody out. All right.
Okay.
There was talk that obviously we've already said this, that Lake Braddock won't play tomorrow. They'll get a bye. They'll get a bye game. That's one of the scenarios. All right. Another scenario. Fairfax, West Springfield. In that same scenario, Braddock gets the bye. Fairfax, West Springfield play Wednesday. They give them an extra day. Day. So if you're planning on going to, Uncle Joe or Grandpa Joe or Grandma Josephine's house, not so fast, my friend. All right, you're sticking around a little longer. Now, there's also a scenario. Just a scenario being talked about.
Okay.
Just a scenario. No one have a heart attack out there. All right. That VHSO would drop Fairfax altogether from the tournament and stick with the West Springfield Lake Braddock game. That's a scenario just being talked about. That might not be a thing.
Wow.
So these are just some of the ideas. Now, you could argue with some of the bad decision making from the top from the beginning. If there's a bad decision, if anyone's capable of making a bad decision, it's someone in the state of Virginia because they've made a lot of bad decisions recently.
Just when I thought you couldn't
get any dumber. You go on and totally redeem yourself. Look, now, I think this is overthinking this. This is stupid to even overthink. Honestly, I've already said it. Braddock gets the bye. West Springfield plays Fairfax tomorrow or Wednesday, whatever. Move on. Play Saturday.
That's what I can. Yeah.
We're overthinking this. That's my gut tells me that's what it's going to be. Anything else? He said Coach Taylor would go on a rampage. They can't drop Fairfax. Yeah.
Someone in the chat said, "Fired on your day off, Greg."
Fired on your day off.
Fired your day off, Craig.
That's sad. Yeah. Where's Carl Frederick, the other Adam Schefter of football? Right now we have another Adam Schefter giving us information. I know Carl's out there. Hey, Adam Schefter, you need to lift your name here and give us some information.
I mean, he's got the kids to take care of, right? He's always take care of.
We'll give him a break.
Yeah, another injunction. Yeah, if they do this, there'd be another injunction. There would be.
Yeah, that's right. That's where Taylor would be. Coach Taylor, Coach Harrison Company. They'd have Ashcraft and Jarrell, and they'd be standing at the with their lawyers.
Ashcraft, Al Jarreau, what?
You don't know Ashcraft and Jarrell?
No, I don't know.
Back in the day, I'd stay home from school as a kid, and daytime talk shows, you'd have these commercials.
I just moved here 4 years ago. You think I know back in the day?
They still do commercials, but they're like ambulance chasing attorney.
Well, I don't know.
They're famous in the area.
I mean, there'll be a lot of ambulance chases after this one today.
Yeah. If I'm an attorney, I'm hanging by. I'm calling all these people.
Yeah.
So, but again, this can't be too hard to figure out. It really can't be. I mean, my God.
I think you're right. The fairest thing is they play Thursday, Monday, or whatever, right? They play.
You could do Tuesday. I don't see why you couldn't. It's not unfair to either team. It's not unfair to either team to have Fairfax and West Springfield play each other tomorrow.
Yes. Well,
not unfair. Who's it unfair to? Neither team was game planning for each other.
Just because preparation. That's
the game planning part sucks, but it sucks for both.
Yeah.
You're playing a blind opponent essentially, right? I mean, you didn't know who you were playing, but no one has an advantage there. Is what I was saying.
No, you're right. No one does have an advantage.
No one has an advantage.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
How? One thing that I ask. Let's get to brass tacks. VHSL, you're not getting away from this one here. How married are they to the JMU stadium on that day?
Yeah.
I mean, do they have to do the 6A at that freaking game at that stadium?
Well, my guess is it's a financial thing.
What is a financial thing? Just everyone else is going to play there. All the other Virginia schools are going to play there for the state tournament, for the state championship.
Yeah.
The state title game JMU on a different date. No. I'm saying I'm proposing. Get the hell out of there. Who cares? I mean, great. Harrisonburg. Man, save me a drive.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Harrisonburg anyways.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting some agreement that the only thing that makes sense is to give Braddock the bye.
Go somewhere else.
Go play good old CG Woodson. We got a big stadium.
Old school. Yeah, go to a high school. Make it cool. You can do something, man. Just a 6A game. Just make the 6A game. Maybe a week later. I mean, if you want to do it right. Screw it. You don't. Okay. Sorry, VHSL. Maybe the cost of all this is not playing the 6A one at JMU. Is that the end of this? Is it the end of the world? I don't think it is.
No.
If you do it, what would you rather do? Get it wrong at JMU or get it right somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Huh?
All right.
They have that Fairfax Times lady start harassing VHSL about the game. Right? Hey, let's not get carried away. We're not going to Hampton, all right? I'm looking for a very convenient drive for me. Hampton's not that's not the answer. Let's keep it somewhat closer to here. How about the neighborhood park right down the street?
There you go.
I mean, this is when it becomes kind of crappy that you don't have a football stadium in Northern Virginia. That's when it gets, kind of sucks that we don't really have that. Because if you did, that's the answer. But we don't have that. Yeah, I know they used to, but I'm saying I just don't want to drive. I don't want to go down there. I want to go somewhere closer. What's the closest That's a good question. What's the closest major to semi-major football stadium to Northern Virginia? Is it Richmond? Yeah, somewhere in Richmond. 90 minutes, 80 minutes.
Was that it?
Is there something closer than that? I don't know. It ain't George Mason soccer field.
Yeah. Hey, let's go play. Let's go play at good old Jack Ketton Stadium. Let's go play there.
Yeah.
RFK. Play RFK.
RFK. Right. RFK. They don't call it that anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it might not be sold out. Is anyone playing there this time of year? They're not doing concerts.
Yeah.
Is there a
No, I think it's condemned. Right? Isn't it falling apart?
Condemned?
So someone said, so Braddock gets more rest and plays beat up West Springfield and Fairfax. But then if West Springfield and Braddock play each other, then Fairfax gets more rest and they play a beat up, they get a beat up West Springfield or Braddock. So I mean, 6-1, half another.
Right.
So
here's what you do. Here's what you do.
Five.
What does it cost to rent one of these stadiums?
It can't be cheap.
So Fairfax County foots the bill for screwing for which taxpayers do at the end of the day. But I mean, we're paying for a lot of it anyways. But it's kind of like a fine, right? They are being fined by the football team, so they got to pay for some kind of stadium. What would it cost to play a game at RFK? RFK is condemned, really? Have I been out of the league that long? I think so. Like I was in a coma or something.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't know that. That's not Virginia, anyways, though. That's not Virginia, though. You know what? Somewhere in Richmond. Well, they're probably playing though. There's football games that time of year.
Yeah.
The colleges are playing.
Yeah. Well,
so, you know, it's funny though. The minute we get off this live call with 800 viewers, the minute we get off this live call, we're gonna have the next breaking news.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like they decided everybody's out of the playoffs, no one's playing, and they're handing Madison and W&L.
Someone said Shenandoah. Is Shenandoah closer?
Oh, hey, there you go. That's a good call. Dang, I forgot about Shenandoah.
Peyton Holmes said Shenandoah.
Peyton Holmes knows his stuff.
You know how they could fix this?
Shenandoah,
just make you and I the commissioners of football, and we'd fix all of it.
Yeah, because we're just brainstorming, and we're coming up with common sense ideas as we brainstorm. God forbid. Shenandoah would love it. Shenandoah would freaking eat it up. Shenandoah, Randolph-Macon. Right now, you got me thinking. I forgot about all the D3 schools. Randolph-Macon, Shenandoah.
Charlottesville?
No, they should. I was saying they should fund it as a punishment.
They should. I think that's we need to make campaign T-shirts. Dash and Dan for football commissioners.
Yes. Like commissioners, commandants. Like Lassard.
Commandants like Lassard.
Commandant Lassard. We could be, look, it just takes common sense. Common sense, man. We've been lacking a lot of common sense.
Yeah.
The Robinson's not coming back. People, God bless you, Robinson fans. You guys are definitely, you're true fans. Love the Robinson faithful.
Another set of kids who just got.
Yeah, they're totally, yeah. AC got hosed too.
Everybody, yeah, just the czars of football. I like that.
Football czar.
The football czar.
The football czars. We could do that.
I guess.
We could definitely do that. Yeah. Again, common sense, man. That's all it's needed in this world. A little common sense.
Someone said all the excitement is making me hungry for a sandwich. Do we have any suggestions?
Now that you mention that, Celebrity Deli, the Dash and Dan, half a pound of pastrami.
Campaign announcement at Celebrity Deli for the Dash and Dan football czars.
I like the way these people are thinking. This is outside the box thinking.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's it in a nutshell. And if anyone hears anything, we're kind of there. Make your prediction. What are they going to do? Make your prediction.
Braddock gets the bye. I think that's the most fair thing. They were the 2 seed. They shouldn't have to play the extra game, and now they're the 1 seed. They shouldn't have played the extra game. And I think that's the only right thing to do, in my personal opinion. They can't keep on pushing back games, or they're not going to. If they're not going to, then they need to.
Hang on. I got a text. Let me make sure this is accurate. I want to make sure this, because people were spitballing ideas and sending them to me, but I'm not sure this is or this is someone's idea.
Someone put, "Will it make everyone happy if Hayfield won't score?" I don't know. If you're inferring that I want people to lose their jobs, I don't want anybody to lose their job. I am not here advocating for people to lose employment. I think that's I was to say championship Hayfield. G. Willis, I was thinking the next thing I was going to say though. But yeah,
you could. So talking to Will Kogan, that's a future athletic director, Will Kogan. The guy knows his stuff. He likes the match that we talked about. Braddock gets the bye, but he says push it back one day. Get the Sunday exemption again.
Yeah.
Do the Sunday game, and so Wednesday, Sunday instead of Tuesday, Saturday.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, that makes sense because day. You can have your day of prep. The extra day of prep, though, I do kind of laugh about, Mace. I'm sorry. And we can't do it on Tuesday. We can do it on Wednesday, though. We just need we need this 1-2 hour practice. Like, I don't know. They already played these teams.
Yeah.
They already played. They know each other really well. The coaching staffs on West Springfield and Fairfax know each other really well.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even think
it's kind of, I think the extra day is just, to me personally, I don't think it matters that much. I get it. It does give you a little bit of prep time, but at the end of the day, neither team has an advantage if you just go on Tuesday and keep it on schedule.
Yeah, the whole thing's, no one's going to be, there's not anything that's going to make anybody happy with anything. So
what you don't want, no one's going to be happy 100%. What you don't want is someone saying that someone else got an advantage. And if they both play Tuesday, then no one has an advantage. Now, Braddock has an advantage because they have the bye. I understand that, but someone had to get a bye.
Yeah.
Someone had to get a bye.
So someone in the chat, Nicole Dash.
Hey, that's a very smart lady.
Said her husband's in trouble. I don't know. That's really weird. No, she didn't say that. She said, "Don't forget to subscribe to all Hitches." She said that.
Very smart. With 800 people on the listening right now, is it? We still at 8? Or are we up even higher now?
856.
Almost 900 people. Okay. Yeah, please subscribe. Yeah. I mean, I got a smoked turkey leg ready to give out to the MVP at the game. Mace's eating a pumpkin pie. I mean, the man was putting whipped cream.
I was not that. That was someone in
the man
my
was
house.
Putting whipped cream on his pie when we got on for an emergency call. The least everyone could do. If we get we just got half of the 1,000 people here. We get 500 people subscribed. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Hit subscribe, follow, all that stuff.
Download on Spotify, Apple.
Spotify. Leave a review. There's one review. There's a lot of people who are subscribed on Apple, but I guess people don't like leaving reviews. And there's one review, and it says this is the greatest podcast ever. I looked at the guy's name, and it said Niner Fan 1. It was Mesa, for God's sake.
I did that when we first put it out.
Yeah, I know. Son of a gun. So yeah, all that stuff that just to help out your friendly neighborhood podcasters.
Yeah.
We're here for you, for the people.
Yeah. Where else would you go right now? Who would you be talking to?
Right.
Who would you be talking to?
You'd be getting misinformation from, or just like, or just no, I don't want to say anything. I was gonna take a shot at one of our favorite area newspapers, but I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it. We love our area newspapers.
Yeah.
Even the op-ed writers for them.
Yeah. Well, I think we've talked about everything we can talk about. I guess.
And this chat has been sponsored by. You thought I was going to say Celebrity Deli. It's not sponsored by Celebrity. It's sponsored by our wives because they allowed us to come down and do this.
Yeah.
Our wives are sponsoring this one.
Yes, they are. My wife is. She's sitting right here, right next to me.
I've got family here. I got family.
She's. Can you? I'm not going to do that. Yeah, she's currently threatening to throw things at me. I don't know.
Well, by the way, and thank you for that. The MVP of the Fairfax game the other day against West Potomac was our guy, Penn Zach Morris.
Yeah.
If you have a chance, go look at that picture. So Penn Morris dressed up as Zach Morris when he was a kid, and it's the funniest thing. It's amazing.
Somebody in the chat said, "Thank you, all Hitches brides."
Oh yeah. They're our better halves. Well done, Penn Morris. Well done. You actually look like Zach Morris in that picture too. You got the pink button-down shirt and the green shirt. It's fantastic. If you have a chance, check that out, Mason. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Look, guys, thanks again for joining us. We could talk forever, but right now there's just nothing else to say.
Yeah.
And again, heartfelt, to all the players.
There are a lot of kids who got really affected by all this, and yeah, I feel awful for a lot of them. A lot of kids who just we're all either I don't know how to word it, but I feel bad for that.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, you have boxes to check that allow you or don't allow you to go to another school.
Yeah,
and a lot of kids obviously checked those boxes when they went into another school, and then now we're told that it was done wrong or inappropriately, or an admin sent a text or whatever,
Yeah.
and now they're saying sorry, you're out, and that sucks. When if you look at it objectively, and just kind of separate yourself from things, the whole thing sucks for everybody. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's a sad state of affairs.
To go along with the kids from Edison, the kids from Robinson too, right? I mean,
Everybody, all the kids that got caught up in the situation from top to bottom, who aren't playing football, from Hayfield to Edison to Robinson, AC
possibly.
Got a gripe on PowerPoints.
Yeah, briefly got those who just joined before the wrap. They're asking for a quick brief. So just to recap, what someone asked for really quick is, Hayfield principal has removed their football team from the playoffs based off of the text messages that were printed today in the Fairfax County Times. If you guys want to go read it. I don't want to read it again just because I dislike reading it. And I told actually me and Dash had this conversation. I was like, dude, I was really tired about talking about this whole thing. I really was.
Yeah, me too. I was so happy when I thought it was finally over.
Yeah.
Like last week.
Yeah.
And look, how excited were we? Look, folks, I got Mason to leave the house tomorrow. He was going to go to Hayfield. Mason rarely leaves the house. He's a curmudgeon. He locked himself in, and I had him. He was going to smoke a turkey leg and give it out to the MVP, and we were going to throw double R hamburgers in the stands. I mean, we were going to make it a party at Hayfield tomorrow, and for the Fairfax people who were there, the Hayfield people who were there, it was going to be a fun time, and that's gone. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
We just wanted to talk football.
Yeah, well, hopefully from this point on, we're just gonna be talking football. I don't see anything. I don't see.
There's gonna be a lot of questions though. They better get it right. They better get it right from these games to where they move it to. Like I said, I say screw it, man. I told you. Mark my words. I say screw it. Redo it all. Find a new location. Go to Randolph-Macon. Go to Shenandoah on their dime, on the arm. County pays for it. Call it a day. Move on.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they do, right?
Yeah. That's it, buddy. That's it.
All right.
Well, don't forget to subscribe again. Subscribe, follow, all that stuff.
Leave reviews. Leave reviews too.
Leave reviews. Good, only positive reviews. If you have a negative review, just email Mesa that negative review. If it's a bad review, just email to Mesa. And we'll hope to see some of you guys on. If there's a game tomorrow, we might be going out to Braddock. If there's a game Wednesday, we might be going to Braddock for that game or whoever.
One Coach Craig may end up going if it's at Fairfax. One Coach Craig may go to that game because it's
Coach Craig.
Yeah,
he's got you in the spot now, but you're in, Craig.
Yeah,
now you got no choice. Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame, Coach Craig, state title winner, Coach Craig with the ring.
Yeah. All right,
guys. Well, thanks for joining us on All the Hitches. We'll be back soon. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.